the one song that you did feature, Donell has been on my show twice. It really,
I love him.
Get it together, and he was telling me the story how
Lord.
he had this song for his little group he was putting together. Then Eddie F says, "Give it to 702," and he was like, "No, Eddie, I want it for my group." He said, "Give it to 702," and
I had a group at the time, these young girls, and I had wrote the song for them. So Eddie came and heard the record. He was like, "Yo, I'm working on this group named 702. You should give them this record." I'm like, "Nah, this is for my group." He's like, "Donell, I'm telling you, you should give them this record." So I said, "You know what? All right, here you go. Just take it." And he played it for him, man. Next thing you know, they wanted to record it.
Get it. I mean, do you remember working with Donell?
Yes, very, very much. I was in 11th or 12th grade. That was one of those moments we had to fly out from school. And it took all of 3 days, and I didn't understand why it took so long.
Was that long?
I didn't understand why it took so long to do such a simple, in my mind, such a simplistic record. I was frustrated because I just did not understand why I was about 17, I think. I didn't understand what it was that he wanted from me that he was not getting. So after each take, I would think I did good, and I'd go do my homework, work on schoolwork, whatever. And I'm thinking we're done. And he's like, no. And at the time he was communicating kind of like how you said your student was doing with his mother. He was doing that to the engineer or whatever. And I was just like, why is he talking? Oh, I love him. I love my Donell. He laughs when I tell him the story. I'm like, you was crazy, right? And so that person, the engineer or whatever, would then, translate it to me or what have you. And I'm just like, well, okay, we have a whole translator. Okay. And I have to do it again, and I have to do it again. And I'm like, what do you want? So now I understand what he wanted was more than just a pretty voice. Of course, I could sing it because, okay, I could sing, but I wasn't, I guess, delivering the conviction or the emotion. I had not lived that. I had not really had my heart. Okay, I maybe had my heart broken once by, first love or something, but that song, which I just learned through his unsung, his story that he tells about, his life, his music career. I just learned that song was about something he was going through with his then wife, the children of his mother, the mother of his children, pardon me, at the time, his first love. I think they were like high school sweethearts. That was him writing about his experience. And he might be a few years older than us, I'm sure, probably maybe 20, maybe he was like 20 something, I don't know. And so now I'm looking back and I'm like, well, I get why he got it, because he lived it. That was his story. And he wanted me to convey that. And I'm just like, what do you want me to do? But there's a method to his madness, because that is, to date, one of our strongest songs. So people love, even though Where My Girls At was our biggest hit, people love Get It Together. They sing that song word for word. I don't really have to perform that song whenever we sing it. I just hold it for that. They love that song. I mean, I don't know what it is. And so I'm like, there was a method to his madness because it worked.
Yeah.
And when I listen back at my 17-year-old self singing it, I hear him in me. I hear his tone. Really listen to it. If you're a Donell Jones fan, if you know his music and if you know his voice, and if you listen to me and how I'm singing that song, it sounds like him. I hear the production, for sure. It's so perfect though. It's perfect. Yeah. I mean, he did a really wonderful job. I was annoyed. Because I'm usually like, back then I was one take wonder. So I was just like, why are you making me do this over and over and over?
Yeah.
But what I will say about myself back then compared to now, I have my tolerance levels. I have no patience now. Back then, of course, I was super patient and super, even though I didn't get it, I wanted to get it. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I was a kid. So I want to make it. And I'm high, I'm like, in my mind, everybody's replaceable. So I'm like, no, I want to do what it is that he's asking me. And I don't want to gripe. I don't want to complain. Even though I might've been kicking and screaming inside, I wanted to get it right. you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist by nature. So I wanted to get it right. And although I was frustrated, I really wanted to you know, I wanted to nail it for him.
Yeah.
And I guess finally after 3 days. Yeah.
Well, I think
I
that's
love that song though. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Every time he lives here in Atlanta, and every time I run into him or we do shows with him still, I tell him all the time, I'm like, bro,
yeah.
my faves, man. I'm like, I didn't get it, but
Yeah. But I think that's what separates Mary from most other singers. You know, vocally, she may not, you know, there are other singers who have vocally stronger voices, but she conveys a story within her voice that you can hear the heartache. And I think that's the one thing that most of us who at the time didn't really get.
Absolutely.
We just listened to a song and enjoy it. But when we do hear people deliver it from a place where like, wow, you know, Mary's, you know, and so that I think hearing this story now I can understand as opposed to back then, like, what's, you know, you just do one take, why don't you move on? But you know,
right. I think because I sang it pretty, it was pretty, but it was no feeling behind it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And now, as you know, a seasoned recording artist, Lord, I practically used to live in the studio all the time. I get it now. I'll make myself do something 30,000 takes, and the engineer will be so annoyed with me. I'm like, there's no feeling there.
Yeah.
I sound good. I'm hitting the notes, but I'm like, I don't feel it, you know. And I'll take a break and be like, let me process, and let me, you know, really get into the lyric and really understand what I'm singing, because attitude, conviction, like you said, just conveying its emotion. I think what Get It Together brought, finally, what I brought to the record was emotion. You know what I mean? Like it sound like I sound like to me, I sound like I'm crying over the music. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what he wanted, some type of emotion. I probably just went in there and just, you know, sang the song and thought I was done.
Yeah.
I'm better with you, not being here with me. When you know love is all I need.
Hey everyone, I want to thank you for being part of Halftime Chats. This new update is really about our membership, and I'm really excited to be able to fully launch the membership page. There will be things like full interviews from day one. As soon as the interview drops, you get access to it without any ads on it. There'll be some exclusive member-only videos that will just be some behind-the-scenes stuff and some other things that we will never be broadcast. For some members, you can be able to get actually 2 interviews, because I do have a backlog of almost 7 or 8 interviews that I don't even know when I'm going to be able to broadcast them. So you're able to get at least some of those up front, and some just behind the scenes stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that I have never been able to talk about or release. For everyone else, you know what, the videos will still be the same over a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks, depending on how long it is. So everything stays the same. The polls stay the same. The community chats, the community stuff stays the same. But I think with the membership stuff, I'm able to add a little bit more and invest a lot more time and energy in really supporting the members. So I do hope you come on that ride with me. I appreciate the support, and this will just help me continue to invest in taking things to the next level. Take care.
I begin to. I begin to.